So a few people have been asking me what all of my different addons are for my warrior character as is, and I thought about doing this video for quite a bit, but we can just go through them one after another. So one of the top asked questions that I have for my videos and whatnot is the buff bar in my top left. This is the add-on Buff Check 3. It is hosted on the Curse website. You can also get it on different add-on sites like what is it, wowup.io. That is also one of them. I will be linking the different add-ons that I'm using down in the description anyway, right? Other than that, I'm using Item Rack. As you can see, I'm currently using all the different like gear icons here. What Item Rack gives me is a few different things to play with. So of course, like I have my Trinket menu as part of Item Rack, where I can queue up and have my different trinkets swap out depending on if they're used or not. So let's say this trinket is currently being used. You'll be able to see in a few seconds. So when I have the item or the trinket auto queued up, which I can change if I go to /item rack OPT or options, I can select the slot that I'm currently using. At this point, you can have them be in different orders. So if you're like PvP focused, you would have the insignia first. Let's see, just gonna move this around. So when I use this item and it comes off cooldown, or should I say when it's like being used and the CD actually ends, right? Then you will see that it automatically swaps to the next item in the auto queue list. If I had another usage trinket, it would first go to that one, and then it would go to, let's say, like Hand of Justice in this case. Other than that, I'm currently using a lot of different Weakauras. The one in the middle, the big bar that you see here, is called Defcons. It's a warrior Weakaura that switches depending on which stance that you're currently in. So you can always see the different what are they called? Stance-specific abilities depending on where you are. It also includes a swing timer, which is quite useful. So you can help out on your swing timers in case you need to heroic strike cancel. Heroic strike cancel being an not really that advanced feature of the game, but something that you need to learn in case you have either bad gear or no world buffs, right? Other than that, I'm using Lvui. Lvui is a really powerful tool that lets me pretty much customize everything that I want when it comes to my UI as is. So anything from like chat windows to my buff bars, my map, and so on. It is definitely very powerful when you put in some time to actually set it up. Then of course I'm using details to actively look at how the raid is going in case someone dies. You can quickly go check the death and see by clicking on the person, you can see the exact like mini combat log of what happened, what heals they were gaining, and what damage they were getting, etc., etc. What most people are like interested in is generally the damage or the healing done by the DPS or casters. And I guess like dispels and similar if you're in a guild where that's an issue. Then in my top right corner, right under the map, I have the return buff tracker, which I currently have set up only to show what the health and the mana is on our raid at any time. But if you were to go check even further, you could include it to have different buffs. This is a quite outdated one, so it doesn't have all of the different buffs that you can have in the game. This was just like a add-on made in the Return Guild by Urpa. But he stopped playing, so he never really updated it to be more in tune with the different patches or phases. Then we have a few different Weakauras that I'm currently using. Some of them include the Sunder Armor Weakaura. We actually have one uploaded on Waga.io that functions the same as the one I'm currently using. The one I'm using is an old private add-on that was made for me and a few players back when we were playing, right? Sadly, we've stopped playing at this point. I do get quite a bit of questions regarding my Aoe Taunt or my Lip Weakora, and I'll include that one as well. So whenever you use Aoe Taunt and Lip at the same time, then it will have a ticking timer in saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 of my Weakora before it runs out. It doesn't show out in the world. I think it triggers only in raid or dungeons, or if you're in a raid group. It's either one of those. Now let's see. Then I have my warrior consumables Weakora. This one tracks like the very basic consumables that you might want to be using. I also have a private one that I won't be sharing. This is more of a shopping list. It's pretty useful, but this one is very personal. It was personally made for the Salbreakers Guild. However, I will be linking this warrior consumable Weakara, since it is still very good to just check if you have stuff like blessings when you're like in mid raid, instead of like having to actively go through all of the different buffs that you have. Another common question I have is regarding the ADF Weakara, the one that tells me how much armor is on the mobs, right? It also tells me if something isn't up, you can right click that specific thing, and it will shout out in chat to make people essentially put it up. So you can have like Holy Thunder, the item that reduces armor by 50, right? Like Curse of Wreck. There are a few different like applications of this. If you go to the Waga.io link, there's also a caster one. I will be linking the melee one in the description. But this is really good for just making sure that people have everything kept up. I also have a personal add-on that tells me, since I used to be really bad at trinket usage, whenever I have an unused trinket equipped and I'm not using it, it will actively tell me in a weak aura that I should be using it. As you can see, the icon disappeared there. And I think that the last add-on I will be going through for tonight is the mixed scrolling battle text, or MSBT. It's how you see my damage numbers moving on my screen. It's quite useful. And for anyone wondering, what you saw there with the battle shout, it was part of the Defcon Weakora, where it shows up if I don't have battle shout applied while in combat. But all of these add-ons are generally very good for customizing to your own needs. So if there's anything special that you need help with some like specific add-on, you can always ask me. I'm not like the perfect one when it comes to customizing, but I have tinkered quite a bit with a few of the add-ons, quite a bit. And if you have any more question about any other add-on that I use, feel free to put it in the comments, and I'll try to help as good as I can. All right, and that's all for me. Thanks for watching.